Good afternoon. I'm Tracy Young. I'm the Community Prevention Specialist here in Carbon County. This is our first iteration of Carbon County Conversations from Classroom to Community. This month, in August, we're talking about mental health and our kiddos. So I am here to introduce Kaylene Cooper. She is a counselor at the grade school, the Rollins Elementary School here. And she's going to talk about what is available for our youth when it comes to mental health in the schools. We really want to put an emphasis on in August on our youth and their mental health as we all go back to school. We think of it as a stressful time for parents, but it can be a very stressful time for our kiddos. And so Kaylene's going to tell us what's available, especially at the elementary level for our kiddos.
So hello everyone, like Tracy had said, I am one of the school counselors at the elementary school here in Rollins. We are super excited for school to start. I know it starts very shortly here tomorrow. We are very excited for all of our kiddos to come back and start working with them more. Just some stuff that we offer in our school, more specifically in the elementary school, is we do a Character Strong SEL curriculum, so our social emotional learning that our teachers take on weekly, and then once every trait or every month, roughly, our school counselors come in and help teach those classes and work with our kiddos one-on-one, and a lot of that is brought thanks to Project Aware. So because of Project Aware, our contract with them, we're able to bring Character Strong into all of our schools in Rollins and in LSRV. It's something that we do from elementary all the way up through high school. It's a great social emotional learning curriculum that we offer to our kids, and it's really focusing on different character traits that they can learn so they can grow up to be great human beings later in life. Also new to this year, our elementary school counselors are working on Tier 2 services. So what that means is a lot of our small groups and our more honed in stuff that we work with those kiddos on, maybe friendship skills, social skills, maybe some emotional regulations, those one-on-one things that we do as school counselors is also offered through Character Strong. So we're going to be able to provide those services in those small groups through what's called a lunch bunch, which we do during lunch that the kids love, also a part of Character Strong. We've also moved to doing youth mental health first aid as a part of our training for all of our staff in all of our Carbon County schools. So a part of that, we've gotten away from doing a Jason Foundation suicide training, and now we're moving to youth mental health first aid. So it's more youth-centered. All of our teachers and all of our school staff are doing it, so everybody is on the same page there. We have Project Aware, which is a great community and school liaison group that we do. It's for mental health in schools. We contract out with multiple different services for mental health counseling, and we are able to then service those kiddos that may not be able to access counseling outside of the school for any reasons such as transportation, insurance, anything like that. If anybody ever is interested in having their student do that, you can always reach out to the school counselors, and the school counselors can do that referral. So then it's a great opportunity for those kids that may not be able to access counseling outside of it. If there's any point that our kiddos need help during the year, maybe they have a bad day, maybe something just happens overnight at home, our school counselors are there as a resource. We are in classrooms, we're moving around, we're at lunch. We're always doing things around the school to make sure that the kids know that we are there as a resource for them. And sometimes it can be little things from friendly debacles to big things that happened at home. We start every year fresh, so every kid gets a fresh start, so we don't always focus on the bad things that may have happened the year before. And then there is also a new parental rights bill that just came out for the schools. So parents have the access to be able to say yes or no to certain things that the schools offer. So that can include counseling, that include nurses, stuff like that. I encourage everybody to read up on what that bill entails, because it gives parents more rights to what their kid accesses during the day. Sometimes it can be good, sometimes it can be bad. So it's everyone's choice to be able to do that.
Awesome. Can you tell us just a little bit more about Project Aware and how it got started in the schools, and then sort of where that'll go here in the next couple years?
Yeah. So Project Aware started back in 2021. I actually got the opportunity to work as a mental health aide before I got the school counselor position for Project Aware. So it is a grant that helps service kids who do not have the monetary or the transportation or anything that they could not otherwise access something like counseling outside of it. So that can be anyone who does maybe not have health insurance or mental health insurance. It could be anyone who maybe they just don't have the time after school to take their kid to a counseling appointment. So what Project Aware looks like in the schools is we have a mental health aide that helps take kids to and from their appointments in the school building. There's one room in every school that is dedicated to Project Aware counseling. We contract out with Wyoming Behavioral Institute and then a couple of other small local counseling services in town to offer both in-person counseling and telehealth counseling services. So it can look anything from your kid coming into the room and sitting down and logging onto a computer on one of the big screens and having that, or a counselor coming into the school to meet with your kid. They work on anything from play therapy to grief counseling, to maybe someone needs a little bit more than that. There are a multitude of counselors that are available using Project Aware that anybody can access. And because it is a grant, nobody has to worry about paying for it at this time. In the next few years, Project Aware will be moving to be able to provide the same access as we have in the past, but also maybe expanding it more. They've started doing group counseling across the state, so there have been some great resources out there that are available to anybody in 12th grade or below. So there's been some teen ones for teen girls. There's been some elementary school, more play therapy stuff that their groups offered across the whole state. And to register with that, you just do the same thing. You can talk to the school counselors, and we can get you in contact with the mental health aide for that.
Nice, thanks. And what was, how did you guys choose Character Strong as the SEL program that this school district wanted?
So Project Aware went and researched a million different SEL curriculums, and Character Strong stood out because it is provided the same all the way through pre-K up to 12th grade, which is something that we were looking for. So as they transition from school to school, it's the same across the board. Character Strong is also heavily research-based, so they have a ton of research about the efficacy of what Character Strong does for the kids. And so when Project Aware was looking at bringing on Character Strong, those were the things that really stood out to them. And it's focused at that level of age. So for grade levels, for elementary school, it's called Purposeful People, and it's got these really cute characters. It's got a mountain character, a tree character, and it goes based off of those different traits, and it's easy to teach because it's at their level. Whereas in the middle school and high school, it starts getting up into that older age level, so it's easier for them to understand, rather than like an older level coming in and trying to talk to them about it.
Nice, I like that a lot. And I know that you started an advisory council with another counselor at the elementary level, and part of your goal of that was looking at some of the data around Character Strong. What are some of the things that you've seen just with the first year of Character Strong that have changed within your elementary school?
One big thing is that engagement across the board. So the kids are wanting to engage in it more. We're getting more access to a social and emotional learning curriculum, whereas before, just the school counselors were doing it. So we wouldn't be able to get into the classroom as often to be able to teach these skills. Whereas with Character Strong, the teachers are able to also teach it. So they are getting access to it weekly rather than just once a month. Then there's different things that come up with Character Strong too, where you can get newsletters sent home. There's different activities that you can do with your children at home that they're also doing in the school. There's music, there's videos, there's games, all of that adds to the engagement piece. And our kids are loving that engagement. And it's easy. It's easy for them. It's on a level that they understand. It's easy for us to be able to teach it to them. So it takes less time out of our teacher's day and less time out of our day to be able to access that aspect of things and then still be able to teach the kids on a regular basis.
Kind of on a side note, but same. So you're the cheer coach this year. Is there a way that you can implement stuff like this outside of the school within clubs? And is this something that would carry over into just attitudes within the
Mhm.
different extracurricular activities and things
Absolutely, yeah. So character strong focuses on character traits. So responsibility, gratitude, respect, all of these different traits that we all teach our kids on a daily basis because that's what they need to grow up into a great and loving adult. So these are things that are taught not just at school but can be taught at home. It can be taught in clubs, it can be taught in activities because responsibility I know is a big one when it comes to doing out extracurricular activities. So stuff like that is all can be taught across the board using the same language, and it's easy to access for everyone across our whole district has the same access to it. So
Nice, I like that. Anything else you want to add about mental health services in our schools, or anything else in fun that you guys are doing?
Not really right now. We have our open house for the elementary school tonight. The elementary school specifically offers Mustang packs, so if anybody needs assistance with providing meals over the weekends or long breaks, the elementary school can help provide that for you. We just pack a backpack full of food, and we can provide food for not only the elementary aged kiddo, but any other kids that are in the home. It's some great stuff, muffin packs and stuff like that. And then if anybody else, I know that there have been a lot of talk about having a hard time being able to access school supplies or purchasing school supplies. The elementary school, we have a room full of school supplies, so if anybody ever needs school supplies for any reason, a new kiddo comes in halfway through the year, anyone who needs school supplies, we'll have a table at our open house tonight that anybody can sign up for, or you can just reach out to the school and they'll get you in contact with one of us.
Nice. Some great services, it sounds like, in our schools here in Rollins. Again, this is Kaylene Cooper. If you guys have questions about mental health, especially in our grade schools or how it's being utilized, you can get a hold of Kaylene at the elementary school. She's, again, the school counselor there. Or you can always email me. I'm Tracy Young, and communityisprevention@gmail is my email. And I can connect you with other things that are going on in the community. The coalition, the Carbon County Prevention Network, is working really hard to bring resources together in our community so that we can help people find what they need at times of need. And so thank you for joining us today for our Carbon County Conversations, and we'll see you next month.